Congratulations! You've got your first screening interview, either with a recruiter or directly with a hiring manager, and it's most likely going to be over the phone, via video conference, or perhaps in person. Let's prepare you for what's ahead. First of all, do your research on the company. If it's an early stage company, check them out on Crunchbase to see where the company is in its funding process. Now, you can also go directly to their website or Google them for information. Be sure to Google their CEO as well and check out Glassdoor for employee reviews. Become familiar with their mission statement, how many employees are currently with the company, and get familiar with the particular department you're interested in. For example, I'll visit the company profile page on LinkedIn and then check out how many non-tech recruiters there are currently on staff. Now, this is going to give me a pretty good idea of where they are in terms of their internal staffing and give me a platform in which to launch my questions during the interview. If you're looking for a finance position, go to LinkedIn, company profile, click on your employees, and then use the filter to research under finance. You will see the profiles of all the people in the company with that title. Another tip for you, let me be very clear. Your interview starts with hello, meaning how you answer the phone or show up on the screen when the interview starts. It's always shocking to me the way candidates answer the phone when I call. Responses have ranged from sounding like I just woke them up to utter indifference to hypervigilance to almost a robotic response. Be thoughtful, respectful, and present. A simple, "Hi, this is Sherry," will work really well. Another tip, no one likes a rambler. Your answers in the interview questions need to be short, no more than 1 minute to 90 seconds. Any answer that goes over 90 seconds will seem like rambling, and the interviewer will definitely lose interest and check out. Plus, it will seem like you're disconnected from the process, which will not make a good impression. Now, here are the 5 most asked interview questions. Tell me about yourself. Yeah, we all love that one. When you're asked this question, don't make the answer personal. Keep it strictly professional. The recruiter or the screener only wants to know how your skills relate to the job you're applying for. So be very familiar with the job requirements and tell them how your experience and skills are relevant to the job you're applying to. Now, my answer would sound like this when I'm applying for a recruiter role. I have over 15 years of experience as an in-house recruiter, hiring and sourcing for salespeople and G&A roles. I started in this industry working for an employment agency, which I know is important to you. My placement rate always remains in the top 90%, and I have a great deal of experience working with your applicant tracking system. I've also worked in healthcare industry, so I'm familiar with the type of candidates you're looking for. Didn't that sound good? I think so. Here's another question. Why are you interested in this position? Why this company? So that's your cue. Be sure you have reviewed the job description in depth and addressed their desired qualifications in this answer. Also, let them know you've done your research on their company. Now, my answer would sound like this when applying for the recruiter position. I've done my research and I'm excited by your company. I too have an interest in the healthcare industry, so I was drawn to your mission statement and the services you offer. I also reviewed the recruiters currently working at this company, and they all have great experience, so it looks like a great team. That's why I'm so interested in this position. I'm always looking to take my recruiting skills to the next level and work with a company dedicated to social good. Okay, here's another question. How do your skills relate to this job? Well, review the job qualifications and get prepared to give examples of each hard or technical skill mentioned in that job description. For example, if you're applying for a bookkeeper job and the listed requirements and experience are QuickBooks, 3+ years of accounting and finance, strong knowledge of Microsoft Office applications, then be prepared to give examples when you've used QuickBooks and how, where you acquired your 3+ years of accounting and finance experience, and perhaps the specific projects you worked on, and be ready to qualify the word strong knowledge of Microsoft applications. And do all this in 90 seconds or less. Now, here are some challenging questions I know often really throw candidates. Why are you leaving your current job? Why did you leave your former job? And why are you looking for a new position? As I said, I know these can be sticky, especially if you were fired from your last job, dying to leave your current job because your boss is crazy, or you took some time off to help a family member. Here's what's most important to remember. There are many versions to your story. Tell the positive one. If you were fired because of conflict, then say the culture fit was not a match, that you're looking for a collaborative environment with coworkers you can learn from and share your knowledge as well. Never, ever badmouth a former employer. That will only reflect poorly on you. If you took 1 year off for a mental health break, don't tell that to the employer. Tell them you took some time off to clarify your goals and get clear on your next steps. If you were home taking care of a sick relative, don't be afraid to share that. Be direct. There's nothing to hide, but surround the story with your past professional history as well. And if you've been a stay-at-home parent, speak that truth as well, but don't dwell on not being part of the paid sector. Instead, talk about what you did do, the volunteer positions you held, etc. And again, speak to your work history prior to leaving the paid work environment. Okay, and this following question, I really dislike it. I consider it really dumb, but nonetheless, you still may get it. What are your weaknesses? Okay. First of all, don't say that you don't have any weaknesses, because then you'll just come off as a pompous person. Also, never use the terms, I'm a perfectionist or I'm a workaholic, because it's way too cliche and we've heard it all before. Don't share anything about your personal life. Now, I strongly recommend being honest about your weaknesses without oversharing. Be sincere and humble and discuss how you're improving. Either way, your weaknesses are eventually going to show up, so let's take this opportunity to discuss them. I've admitted to interviewers that while I don't have the software application they're looking for, I do have the one that's comparable, so I can ramp up quickly. You can also mention past weaknesses and how you overcame them. You can also choose to discuss weaknesses that are not relevant to the job you're applying for. Just remember to review the job qualifications and the description so you can honestly answer this very weak question well. Another question is, do you have any questions? Now, if you've had a nice flowy back and forth conversation where you've been able to ask questions during the interview, you can say, no, I believe you've answered all the questions. But if the interviewer did all the interrogating, then it's important that you do have 1 to 3 questions ready. And the questions should be about the position, the company, and the people you'll be working with, the projects you'll be working on. You can even ask the interviewer a question about their own role or their perspective of the company. Nothing personal, though. You got to keep it professional. You can also learn a lot about your interviewer by visiting their profile on LinkedIn prior to the interview, and that will give you more of a background.